Good morning and welcome to Lords for this special Ashes Test match to celebrate the return of live sport following the coronavirus crisis. Captains Michael Vaughan and Ricky Ponting will captain the England and Australia Ashes teams of the 21st century. This is brought to you by Owzthat, the cricket game for all weathers and the pocket-sized game of the century. And most importantly, the match will raise funds for our NHS heroes. Lords is looking at picture today, and let's get straight to some team news, starting with England. James Anderson, England's leading Test wicket taker of all time, is out. Pulled his hammy doing keepy-ups with Alistair Cook. He will play no part today. So that brings Jofra Archer into the side at the scene of his thrilling Test debut last year. To the teams. Cook and Vaughan opening up for England. Vaughan returning to the position that brought him so many runs in Australia in 2002-03. Bell's heroics in 2013. When he rescued England time and time again, see him nail the number 3 slot. Peterson and Stokes bring the flair and panache at 4 and 5. Alex Stewart, veteran of 2001 and 2002-03, gets the nod at wicketkeeper. Flintoff is the talismanic all-rounder who simply couldn't be left out. Swan, an easy choice as the chief spinman. Broad is the leading Ashes wicket taker this century for either side, and is 8 for 15 at Trent Bridge in 2015. Perhaps the finest individual Ashes bowling performance of the last 20 years. Let the debate rage on with that one. Archer, as we've heard, deputises for the unlucky James Anderson. He can resume his duel with Steve Smith today. The balance of a successful Australian team has long been established. 6 batsmen, a wicketkeeper and 4 bowlers who can steamroller the opposition without any help from an all-rounder or bit part bowler. The rock-solid opening partnership of Langer and Hayden sets the tone. Ponting captains from 3, and the danger man at 4, Stephen, Peter, Devereux Smith. Quite simply, the finest Ashes player of the 21st century. Couple of Michaels in the middle, Clark and Hussey. Gilchrist the only choice as wicketkeeper. And what about these bowlers? Johnson was utterly dominant in 2013-14, taking 37 wickets. Vaughan took 40 in a losing cause in 2005. He would make the team in any century. Cummins is the leading wicket taker in the last 2 Ashes series, and Glenn McGrath, his 21st century Ashes average of 20.48 is only bettered by his average here at Lords, a staggering 11.5. To the toss. Yes, Michael Vaughan has won the toss here at Lords today, and England are going to have a bat first. To the action. It's going to be Glenn McGrath to take the new ball from the pavilion end here at Lords. Here he comes into Alistair Cook, turning that one off his hips for 2. Trademark Cook to start the innings. McGrath again. That one squirts away off a thick edge towards third man. Cook collects 3. Brings Michael Vaughan on strike, and he's cover driving straight away. Not quite timed, but he still gets 3. McGrath is short. Cook square cuts him. Long chase for Hayden, who keeps them to 3. Michael Vaughan quickly onto this one and pulling in front of square for the first boundary of the innings. Last ball is coming up. McGrath to Vaughan again. Edged. Has Glenn McGrath made the breakthrough here in the very first over? Let's have a look. Yes! Taken by Michael Clark. Smart catch at second slip. The England captain has to go for 7. 15 off the over. Cook not out on 8. Ian Bell yet to face. Mitchell Johnson now. Can he replicate his fireworks of 2013? Cook gets a swinging full ball, which he can clip away for 2. Johnson, that one is shorter. Flicks it away. They come back for 2 more. Short and wide and given the treatment. Beautiful square cut for 4 from Alistair Cook. Johnson, full, straight, and I think out. Off stump, uprooted. Johnson strikes. He has bowled Alistair Cook for 8. Cook now goes in the second over. Brings Joe Root to the crease. What has Johnson got for him? Here he comes now. Johnson is full again, and Root jams his bat down just in time into the leg side for 2. Last ball of the over. Root drives this time, not all that convincingly, but enough to get 2. England 25 for 2. Root 4. Bell yet to face. McGrath in again. 2. Ian Bell for his first delivery of this match. Bell
pushes forward. Edge to Gilchrist. Is Bell going to be out first ball here? He is. Golden duck for Ian Bell. Edge to Gilchrist. He takes the catch quite comfortably. McGrath as comfortable here as in his back guard in Narromine, New South Wales. What a player he is. Peterson, the next man. And McGrath coming into him now. He gets a short ball and he hooks all the way for 6. What a way to get off the mark for Peterson. This one is Fuller, holding its line up the slope. Peterson feels for it. Gets 1. Root back on strike. Edged again, but bounces just in front and then past Pontin. He gets 1. Peterson back on strike. He drives, not quite out of the middle, and it squirts into the offside towards deep backward point. Coming back for 3. Root on strike. Last ball of the over. And he's clean bowled here, isn't he? He was shouldering arms, but that one nipped back down the slope, and it has clipped his off stump. He is bowled. Root has to go as well. He only made 5. England are in dire straits here. 38 for 4. Top 4 batsmen all out. KP and Stokes in a lot earlier than they would have wanted. Johnson again cranking up the pace. Peterson fighting fire with fire and pulling savagely for 6. Johnson responds with a Yorker just dug out from Peterson and they scamper a single. Stokes to face for the first time. He clips one off his legs into the gap for 2. Stokes now waits for this ball from Mitchell Johnson and he dabs past Hussey at short leg and strolls down to the other end for 1. That's short and wide and Peterson hammers it away to deep backward point for 4. Last ball, Johnson in again. Peterson punches down the ground for 4 more. England 56 for 4. Peterson 25 in no time. Stokes has 3. It's going to be McGrath bowling to Ben Stokes. Here he comes now. Stokes charges him over his head for 6. Stroked into the offside this time. An easy single. Brings Peterson back on strike. Peterson flicks off his legs. Hussey is after it. And Mr. Cricket keeps them down to a couple. On drives now. Glorious shot which scoots past mid-on and harries away for 4. Peterson drops it into the offside now. Excellent run in to find the single. Stokes takes guard. And creams him through the covers to end the over with a 4. The rebuilding continues. KP 32, Stokes 11, England 74 for 4. Johnson in again. Bruce of a ball, rear in towards his throat. Peterson keeps it down. They take 1. Stokes now. Where's that gone? Fielder underneath it, but no. Straight into that gentleman's pint glass. 6 runs. Leg stump ball now, which Stokes clips into the leg side. They are quick enough for 3. Peterson drives down the ground, but it hits the off stump and careers to mid-on. Deserve 4, gets 2. Rolls his wrists and sends the ball to Cummins at third man for 1. Stokes now, and he plays a late glance through point off the last ball of the over, gets him 2. 15 off the over, England 89 for 4. Peterson 36, Stokes 25. McGrath will be bowling to Kevin Peterson here. Short, wide, slapped, raced away to the cover boundary for 4. Peterson takes a step, launches McGrath into the pavilion. Peterson in full-blown attack mode now. Peterson pulling into the tavern stand for 6 pints. Thrilling batting, 100 up, KP's 50 up. Flicks this one in the air into the leg side. Not quite timed, they take 2. Peterson stroking into the offside now for 2 more. Last ball. Glenn McGrath is into Peterson. Peterson launches again, but they've put the man back. Smith is at long off now. Can he take this steepling catch? He can. Peterson is out. Just when the tide was turning. England 109 for 5 and back in the mire. Peterson made 56. McGrath the tormentor in chief, as always, with 4 wickets. And good news for England. Shane Warne is coming on. Stokes and strike. Sweeping. Top edging for 1. Alex Stewart, the new man, tentatively pushes at that one and gets 1. Stokes launches this one into the St John's Wood sky over mid-off, but it plugs in the ground and they take 3. Warne in. Huge appeal for leg before. Looked like the flipper. Certainly caught him unawares. Warne is very confident here. What does the umpire say? The umpire says not out. Warne shakes his head in disbelief. That one looks plumb. Stewart in a tangle here, wrong and spinning into him. Inside edges through his legs for 3. Stokes has a shimmy off his legs, airborne but safe. They run 3. Warne looking threatening. 120 for 5. Stokes 32. Stewart 4. Cummins will replace McGrath. Short. Stokes pulling imperiously to deep mid-wicket for 6. This one is on his legs and it's turned away. Should be an easy 2 and is. Short again, and this time he uppercuts for 6. No, it's 4. Just bounced inside the rope there. Stokes on the attack now. Cummins is into him. And he's charging and chipping into the leg side for 4 more. Short wide, and he pummels this to the cover boundary. Brings up his 50. And he completes the over with a drive over deep extra cover for a wonderful 6. Ben Stokes is dragging England back into this contest. He has 58. Stewart 4. England 146 for 5. Shane Warne will be bowling to Alex Stewart, who pulls it all the way for 6. Shot Alex Stewart. Warne in again to Alex Stewart. Stewart forward, and that has clipped Stewart's off stump. Bamboozled by the leg spinner. It pitched outside leg. It hit his off stump. The ball of this century, maybe. England are 152 for 6. Stewart gone for 10. Andrew Flintoff is the next man in for England. Warne is bowling to him now, and Flintoff launches him into the pavilion. A member catches the ball in his Panama hat. Well played, sir. Shall we dance again? Flintoff onto the floor. Smacks Warne into the Compton for 6. Is he going to go again here? You bet he is. 1 bounce 4 over Warne's head. Last ball of the over coming up. And Flintoff gets all of this one. A crackerjack of a hit, arcing its way towards the media centre. Flintoff grins. He only knows one way. He's on 22. 174 for 6. Cummins will continue to Stokes, who cover drives. Gloriously so for 4. On drives now. Chase from McGrath. Gets there. Hurls it in. Stokes takes 2. Full again from Cummins. He's on the drive. Can't get it to the ropes. 3 runs. Flintoff back on strike. Is he winding up another big one? Nope. Shorter ball. Turned away for 1. Cummins fires this one in, but Stokes can clip this one away for 3. Last ball of the over to Flintoff. And this one is a smite into the leg side. Up, up and away for 6. Flintoff 29. Stokes 70. England 193 for 6. Mitchell Johnson is back into the attack. Stokes takes guard now, comes forward and muscles this for 4 into the onside. Mitchell Johnson into him again. No let up here. Stoke punches into the offside, whistles away for 4. The 200 is up for England. Stokes pushes firmly past Hussey at short leg. Calls Flintoff through for the single. Flintoff on strike. And empty in bars again. Drives this deep over extra cover for a superb 6. And some finesse to go with the Fury now. A late dab through backward point for 2. Last ball. Square cuts. Decent looking ball. 4 all the way. Flintoff moves to 41. Stokes 79. 2-1-4 for 6. Warne switching ends to Stokes, who edges. Ponting is claiming the catch at first slip. But the umpires are going to have a look at this. Yes, it's not out. It didn't look like he got his fingers under the ball there. Not out. Stokes survives. Ponting not happy at all. Warne back into Stokes, who sends this into orbit. You could put a Harlem Globetrotter on the fence and he wouldn't reach that. 6 runs. Stokes sweeping, misses, hits in front. Appeal from Warne. Must have been an inside edge. They get 1. Into Flintoff. Here he comes. Straight down the ground for a gorgeous looking 6. 6 more. A rare full toss is hoisted high and handsome into the tavern. 50 up for the big man. Warne in. Flintoff prods. Ponting snaffles at slip. Gone. 50 and out for Flintoff. But wait 1 minute. They are checking his front foot. Unbelievably, Shane Warne has overstepped. It's a no ball. Flintoff is reprieved. What a let off for Flintoff. And Flintoff celebrates by rocking onto the back foot and punching for 3. 2-3-7 for 6 now. Flintoff 56. Stokes 86. Johnson in again. Herring into Flintoff. Up on his toes. Punching through the colours for 4. In again. And belted to cow corner for 6 more. Flintoff flying here. Roman Road straight this time for a blistering 4 down the ground. Hold that pose, Freddie. Johnson tries some short stuff. Flintoff hooks it. Lands in no man's land. They run 3. Stokes skips. Tickles into the leg side for 1. Last ball, Flintoff drops it like a feather. They canter through for another run. Flintoff nicks the strike, goes to 74. Stokes 87. England 256-46. Warne to Flintoff. Here he comes now, past the umpire. Flintoff sweeps, very close to missing that, but he can collect 3 as Cummins does the fielding. Stokes drives, just out of reach of a diving Hayden at cover. Close, but they get 2. Stokes sweeps now, and top edge is behind square. No one there to take the catch. 3 more. Flintoff puts away the sweep, brings out the shovel, battered away for 4. Downtown now, in the air for a long time, and dribbles over the line for 4. Pushes at this one, just wide of mid-off for 1. 86 to Flintoff. Stokes just ahead on 92. 273-46. Johnson to continue. It's a full ball. Flintoff digs it out. Away through the leg side. Running hard for 3. Stokes driving to a full ball now. Past Smith at mid-off. But he gives chase and keeps them to 3. Johnson to Flintoff, who creams him on the up through the covers for 4. Flintoff goes again, but inside edges into the leg side. He can collect 1. Short now from Johnson. Stokes leans back and ramps it over the slips. Long chase for Warne. They get 3. Short again. Flintoff can pull this without real timing into the deep for 2. 289 for 6. Flintoff 96. Stokes 98. Can they get their hundreds? What a partnership this has been. Warne into Stokes. Comes down the track. Going for the big shot to Cow Corner. But he's missed that. Gilchrist has the bails off. Stokes has to go for 98. Stumped by Gilchrist. He's furious. Warne is delighted. Swan, the new man. Warne has his tail up. Swan slogs, sweeps, flies for 6. Comes down the wicket now. Skews off the edge, way over backward point for 6 more. Swan going for the big shot again. Smith running backwards, dives, can't hold on. They get 4. Swan, square cuts now in the air. Hayden diving, tips around the post. They get 3. Flintoff needs 4 for his 100. Murdered into the stands for 6. Turn up Andrew Flintoff. Drama in every Warne over. Stokes went for 98. Flintoff 102. England 314 for 7. Johnson in again. Swan cutting him to the fence for 4. Swan steers that away past the diving point. It won't make the boundary. 3 runs. Flintoff in the mood. Hooks a short ball with ease into the Warner stand. Champagne corner over there. Up on his toes now, into the offside for a single. Swan back on strike. And back to the party. Front foot pull all the way to the fence for 6. Swan is pulling again, like a rocket, over deep mid-wicket for 6. Swan has raced to 38. Flintoff 109 and counting. England 340 for 7. McGrath is going to replace Warne. Full ball. Hammer blow down the ground for 4. Back foot now, slashing hard for 4 over the slips. McGrath getting 2 straight here. Flintoff can guide it into the leg side and canter through for 1. Down the leg side now, and Swan just helps this one on its way for 4. McGrath is kicking the pitch in disgust. Chips this one, not quite timed. Wants 3, gets 3. Flintoff steered past slip. And they can take a run. Flintoff moves to 119, Swan 45, England 357 for 7, and near in respectability. Cummins, short, Flintoff hooking. Is he going to be caught? No. 6 more. Goes Fuller, and is dispatched into the Edrich. Only one Freddie Flintoff rings out. Drills this to mid-on. Bit of a fumble from Johnson, so they run 1. It's 4 o'clock again as Swan swings away for another boundary. Swan gloves this one down the leg side. Gilchrist dives, races for 4, brings up his 50. Nearly through. Swan falls over, but he squeezes it into the leg side for 1. Swan up to 54. Flintoff 132. England 379 for 7. McGrath looking for his 5th wicket, and I think he's got it here. That was arrow straight, too quick for Swan, and he is castled. Another 5-wicket haul for Glenn McGrath here at the home of cricket. One of the all-time greats for sure. Stuart Broad is the new man, uncomfortably off his hip, and he scampers to the non-striker's end. McGrath in. Flintoff unfurls a beautiful cover drive. No one moves. Timing it superbly. What's he got next? Immense power to smash that to Cow Corner for a huge 6. Oh, Father Time, did you see that one? Marmalised for 6 more. Babushka! That's the biggest of the day. The crowd are on their feet. It's party time in St John's Wood. Flintoff moves to 154. England past 400. Cummins. Broad throwing the bat at it. Gets a streaky 4. Edged. Third slip has been taken out. It hurtles to the boundary for 4 more. Broad. He's got a hold of this one. In the slot. Biff for 6. Broad defends. No. Yes. No. Yeah. Huge mix up here. Broad dives and the throw misses. They get 1. Flintoff not done yet. Smokes a square cut to the fence for 4. And follows it up with a driven 2. Flintoff rests on his bat. That has now brought him 160 runs. Broad 16. England 4-2-3 for 8. McGrath in again. He's in past the umpire. Broad swings hard. Way to the boundary for 3. Flintoff goes big again. But this one has more height than distance. Can Steve Smith take the catch? He can! Flintoff has to go, but he gets a standing ovation from this packed Lord's crowd. What a knock. McGrath's 5, and now he's got 6. Surely, big appeal for LBW against the new man Archer. What does the umpire say here? Not out. Maybe that was just sliding down the leg side. Archer survives. McGrath in again. Archer swinging wildly into the leg side. Somehow he gets 4. Didn't know much about it. Archer punches this for a single. Last ball of the over. Broad stands and delivers for a rollicking 6 into the pavilion. Broad goes to 32. What a knock from Flintoff. 160. England 4-3-7 for 9. Cummins to continue. He'll be bowling to Archer. He's short to Archer, who pulls magnificently so for 6. Cummins again. It's the block hole. Archer nearly falls over, playing it into the leg side for 1. Cummins outside off. And the England innings is over here, I think. Broad has edged this one, and Warne has taken the catch at first slip. Broad goes for an entertaining 32. Archer, the man, not out for 12. England all out for 4-4-4.
In the end, England are probably going to be happy with that total of 444. They were 38 for 4 at one stage, so it could certainly have been a lot worse. Peterson and Stokes' partnership of 71 spared them from complete collapse, and then Stokes and Flintoff took the attack to the Aussies, putting on 136 for the 7th wicket. Stokes fell agonisingly for 98, charging down the wicket to Warne. Flintoff powered on, reaching an Ashes best score of 160 with 11 fours and 15 sixes. An unforgettable innings. The crowd were royally entertained. McGrath did most of the damage for Australia, taking 6 wickets. He was ably assisted by the other 3, Johnson, Cummins and Warne. How will Australia fare when they take their turn to bat?
Stuart Broad with a new cherry. Here comes the first ball. And that's 2 straight from Stuart Broad, and Langer can flick to mid-wicket for 4 to get off the mark. Comes again, short outside off. Throws the kitchen sink at this one and gets 6 off a top edge. He's driving now, down the ground, but timing not quite there. He settles for 2. This one is in the slot, and Langer drives up and over long off for 6 runs. And follows up with a square cut, pass point for 4. Langer has come out, all guns blazing here. But I think Stuart Broad has his man here. That's a beaut of a ball that comes in and clips his off stump. Clean bowled. Langer has to go. He made 22 off that first over, but he's back in the hutch. Ricky Ponting, the new man. Archer will be bowling to Hayden. Hayden hooks. Top edge to deep fine leg. Broad is there, but over him for 6. Archer short again. Hayden tries to sway. It follows him. Edged over the slips for 4. Hostile here from Archer. And now he's appealing for leg before, but an inside edge saves him. They run 1. Ponting on strike. Edge. Stewart to take. No, just over his head. 4 runs. Ponting drives a full ball past mid-on, and they can take 3. Last ball of the over. It's short from Archer. Hayden is hooking. Gets the meat of the bat on that one for 6. Australia are 46 for 1 off only 2 overs. What a blistering start. Broad will be bowling to Ponting. Ponting punches into the offside, sets off for a run, but that was 4 all day long. Broad again, Pontin pulls this one, just helps it on its way for 6. Broad goes to the Yorker now. Pontin just gets the toe of the bat on it, and they scramble 1. Broad to Hayden, and he's shoveling that round the corner for 1. Broad is short and pulled again into that hamper in the stand for 6. Gets the ball to drive now. He accepts the invitation for 3 runs. The runs keep coming. England cannot stand the flow. Australia 67 for 1. Archer in again, trying to break the speed gun. Gets Pontin on the hop, but away to backward point for 2. Short again. Pontin pulls and gloves it over the slips for 6. Very fortunate there. But he's got that one all right. Into the grandstand for 6. So Archer goes full. Nothing more than a push down the ground. All the way for 4. What lovely timing. Steered into the offside now. Good run in. Sees them come back for 3. Hayden to the final ball of the over. Edge. Wide of slip. They run 2. Archer creating chances. But Australia are up to 90 for 1. Alarm bells are ringing for England already. Broad to Pontin. On driven. Pass mid on. Comfortable 2. Raises the bat to acknowledge his 50. And he celebrates in style with another trademark languorous pull for 6. What batting from Ricky Pontin. 2 full now from Broad. Pontin is cover driving for a textbook 4. Brings up the 100. Hop, skip and a flick for 2 into the leg side. Broad again. This one wasn't even that short, but Pontin has pulled this with a crack into the tavern stand. Quickly onto that one. Broad bowls a short one. Pontin onto it, laces it wide of deep fine leg for 4. Pontin dashing to 72, playing like a dream. Australia 114 for 1. Flintoff now to Hayden, who edges, and that's put down by Pearson in the gully. Edged again. Root is diving at third slip, but it's past him and down to the boundary for 4. Straighter this time. Hayden can turn it into the leg side and get 2 more. Flintoff bangs it in. Hayden hooks, not really in control, but it flies for 6 into the Allen. Another short ball, which Hayden hooks again, off the edge, but pace on the ball takes it for 6 more. Now he's driving on the up, past the diving mid off for 4. Hayden up to 44, Australia 138 for 1. Time for some spin now. Graham Swan into the attack. Swan tosses it up, Pontin drives into leg side and grabs a couple. Swan again. Pontin comes forward. Spins past the bat. Stewart has the bails off. Is he out of his ground? He is! He is stumped there. Swan strikes. Pontin goes for 74. Superb innings, but he doesn't get his 100, and Steve Smith will be the new man. Steve Smith, 1 step forward, and Bosch sails over Swan's head for 6. That's how you get off the mark. Slog sweeper now in the air, but safe. They get 3. Brings Hayden back on strike. And he gets to his 50 with an almighty clout into the pavilion for 6. Short. Hayden out to the deep. They jog a couple. Swan has made the breakthrough. Hayden on 52. Smith 9. Australia 157 for 2. Flintoff's going to continue from the nursery end. Into Smith. He comes across his stumps and clips a full ball to the leg side for 2. Again he comes across. Flintoff spears into leg stump, but Smith flicks again and he finds the gap for 4. Flintoff goes short to him. Smith swivels and hooks over Broad for 6 into the Warner. Over pitching now. Smith quickly onto it and drives firmly for 4. And he's on driving now. Might get 1. He gets 4. That was superbly timed. Flintoff now. Last ball outside his off stump. Smith lifts it over long off for 6. Smith is showing his full range of skills here. Up to 35 in no time. Australia 183 for 2 and cruising. More Swan magic needed, but that one is carted over his head for another 4. Hayden flexing his muscles. Hayden frees his arms now and flays him into the leg side for a mighty 6. Hayden sweeping now to mid wicket. They run 2 and yep, they're coming back for the 3rd. Smith back on strike. And he swings Swan into the deep for another 6, and that brings up the Australia 200. This is a better ball, spins into him, balloons just over Bell at short leg, they get one. Last ball of the over, big swing from Hayden, snow on that one, lands just in front of a diving Archer, they get one. But the runs keep coming here. Australia 204 for 2. Broad from the nursery end into Hayden on the drive, edge, Cook dives high to his left, but it's through his hands. Archer keeps him to 3. Into Smith now. Smith pulls him in front of square for an effortless 6. Broad into Smith, short and wide, uppercut for 6, that's his 50. Short again, better directed, but no problem for Smith, who helps on its way for 6 more. Across his stumps and wristily away for 2 now. Peterson does the field in the deep. Last ball of the over. Smith is across again, this time he perfects a shot. Peterson can't stop that one, that's 4. Smith is batting on another planet here, 66 already. Australia 231 for 2. Swan off, Archer on. Looks like a loosener, but that beats Hayden for pace. Only an inside edge saves him. They get 1 run. Archer versus Smith. It's short, too short. Smith lifts his bat and ramps for 6 over Stewart. But this is a brutal bouncer. Smith hooks with no control at all. But he still manages to collect 3. Into Hayden now, and he drives for 4 with the minimum of fuss. In again to Hayden. And he places the full ball into the leg side. Stokes is sweeping. He keeps him down to 3. Crowder up as Archer glides in for the last ball of the over. Here he comes now past the umpire. And that one has hit Steve Smith. He's down, but quickly up and running and gets his single. Smith leans on his bat. Impassive. He has 76. Hayden 77. Australia 249 for 2. Broad bowls to Smith. Over, across. Flicks for 1. Metronomic. Full outside off this time. Hayden smears it to backward point for 4. This one is half edged, half steered, past third slip, and he can get 2. Broad into Hayden. Hayden hoists him to the cover boundary. They run 3. Swan fields. Outside off now. Helped on its way over gully for 4 more to Steve Smith. And how about this to end the over? Drills him over long off for 6. Smith blazes away to 87. 1 ahead of Hayden now. Australia 269-4-2. Archer. England desperate for a wicket here. Here comes Archer. Fast, straight and gone. Archer has made a real mess of Hayden's wickets here. He has clean bowled him. Archer strikes. Can he lead? An England revival here. Hayden goes for 86. Clark is the new man. Archer will be bowling to Michael Clark. And I think Archer's got another one here. Peterson up to take the catch in the square leg boundary. Oh, it's just over his head and it's 6. Clark drives now, skews away. He gets 2. Archer again. Corridor of uncertainty now, but Clark is playing. Steering past gully for 3. Archer claps to the wicket as he bowls to Smith. Smith again clips a straight ball into the leg side and runs 3. Clark on strike for the last ball of the over. And he cuts at a wide ball and it will rocket to the fence for 4. No, it's gone for 6 all the way. 289 for 3. Smith into the 90s. Clark 17. Michael Vaughan turns to Ben Stokes. And he'll be bowling to Steve Smith. Smith nurdles into leg for 1. Stokes has his hands on his head. He thought that one was through. Clark doesn't need to run for that one. Swings over deep extra cover for a mighty 6. Stokes in again. And he's cramping him for room this time, but he plays it down well. And they can run 1, 2, 3 runs. Into Smith. 4, open the face, drove it to the cover fence. 300 up for Australia. And a classical cover drive now for 4 more. Smith is up to 99. And there's his 100, tickling the straightest ball down to the third man boundary for 3. Smith 102 not out, batting like Bradman. Australia 310 for 3. Can Archer find another wicket? Short to Smith. He's hooking down the third man for 6. Short again, hooks again, straight in the air. He's going to be caught. No, Bell can't make it. They run 2. But There's no let up from Archer. That's fast, that's nasty. And Smith just swipes it away in time. No control, but gets 3. Clark on strike. He gets some chin music. He can only fend to Bell, but it's past him for 1. Short again from Archer. No, this one's pitched up. Smith likes it there, opens his arms and drives it all the way for 6. Last ball of the over. And this one is a late glance now for quick ball. Races to the boundary for 4. Archer making things happen, but Smith up to 123. Australia 332 for 3. Stokes to Michael Clark. Short, sits up. Clark sends it first class for 6. Stokes responds with a tempter outside off. Clark nibbles, but controlled and gets 2. Hits this one hard to deep mid-wicket, straight to Peterson. They take 1. Stokes to Smith. Smith launches this high into the Compton stand for a towering 6. Pulls now, rolls the wrist. Can't quite get it to the boundary. Takes 3 more runs. Michael Clark on strike to the final ball. He can find the rope, up and over it for 6 runs. 3-5-6 for 3. Smith 132, Clark 42. Smith on guard to Flintoff, switching away. And here comes Flintoff, and Flintoff is pushed into the covers for 1 run. Clark on strike. Clark edges, short of third slip, funny bounce 2, so it's through, and they run 3. Smith again. Crosses stumps to a straight ball and whips it over mid-wicket for 6. Incredible batting. On drives now for a sumptuous 4. Flintoff left, scratching his head. Flintoff goes short. Smith is under it, uppercutting for another 6. And a cover drive brings him 4 more and is 150. He twirls his bat to the changing room. He's up to 153. Clark 45. Australia 380 for 3. Swan back to try and conjure something. And the first ball is swatted away for 6 by Clark and gets him to his 50. Swan again. 2 short. Clark is quickly back. Square cutting for 4. Clark again. Plays it with a turn, past short leg for a single. Swan into Smith. Smith has a charge. He's missed it. The bells are off. Have they got Mr. Invincible? I think they might have here. They have indeed. He's been stumped by Stewart. Swan is mobbed. Smith finally dismissed for 153. An incredible innings from him. Michael Hussey will be the new man. Swan into him now, and he's bowling through the gate. Swan is getting mobbed again here. But no, the umpire is signalling no ball. When does Graham Swan ever overstep? Agony for him, agony for England. I'll have to wait for this next wicket. Swan is into Hussey again. He's short. Hussey pulls him for 4 to add insult to injury. And now he is edging past Stokes to slip for 4 more. The 400's up. Clark has 56, Mr. Cricket 8. It's 400 for 4. Vaughan wants spin at both ends, so he brings on Joe Root. Into Michael Clark. Clark steps, plants him for 6, over his head. Short and wide now for Joe Root, and that's easily put away for 4. And now he gets a full bunger, which he smashes into the tavern stand. This might be Joe Root's first and last over. Into Clark again. Clark sachets down the wicket. And I think he's stumped here. Root does take the wicket. They're just double checking that everything was above board. It was. Clark shakes his head and walks off. Out for 72. England get another wicket. Into Gilchrist. Root into Gilchrist now. Gilchrist off his legs for a single. Gets off the mark. Which brings Hussey back on strike for the final ball of the over. And he sends this to the mid-wicket fence. Doesn't get to the boundary. 3 runs. Root with the golden arm. Australia 420 for 5. Only 24 behind now. Swan in again. It's a Hussey. He isn't messing about. Swings this into the leg side for 6. How will Swan respond? Hussey is hit on the back leg. There's a huge appeal for LBW here. And it is given. Swan has another Australia are 426 for 6. Is there a window of opportunity for England here? Johnson is the new man, and he flays Swan into the off for 4 runs. Johnson waits for Swan. And Johnson is on his knees now, carting it over the cover boundary fence. Agricultural, but 6 all the way. Down the track, edge. Stewart can't take the catch. It bumps away for 4. Last ball of the over. And Johnson slams it for a huge 6 over Swan's head. And with that blow, Australia take the lead. They are 446 for 6. How quickly can England take these last 4 wickets? Root is given another over. Sharp turn here. Turn around the corner for 2. Slogs him into the leg side now. Long run for Vaughan. He collects. They take 3. Hussey on strike. On the charge, but then just taps it into the leg side for 1. Gilchrist on strike. And he smacks him over cow corner for 6. That was dismissive from the Aussie wicketkeeper. He tries the same shot again, but that hasn't got the legs. They run 3. Johnson to face the final ball of the over. And he gets a full toss, which he batters to the square leg boundary for 6. 4, 6, 7 for 6. Johnson has an express 27. Gilchrist 15. Spin at both ends. Swan to Gilchrist. Gilchrist plants him into the Compton for 6. Short ball. Gilchrist quickly onto it, and that is 6 more to long off. Gilchrist back again, forcing it down to fine leg. Beats the man for 4. 3 boundaries back to back. And this time he casually dabs for 1. Are we going to see a Gilchrist masterclass today? Johnson now, and he's swinging at everything in the air, but clear of the man. They take 3. Into Gilchrist. Swan gets some drift. Gilchrist punches for 4. He's quickly up to 36 with some lusty blows. Johnson 30, 4-9-1 for 6. And Peterson is the surprise choice to replace Joe Root. Vaughan trying everything. Johnson sweeps for 1. Peterson to Gilchrist. Gilchrist goes inside out to deep extra cover. Didn't get all of it. They run 3. Peterson short and wide to Johnson, and Johnson fires it out to the cover sweeper. Take another 1. Into Gilchrist. 1 step, smashed over his head. Into the pavilion for 6. 500 up for Australia. Peterson. Gilchrist comes again, but he's out of his ground, I think, here, isn't he? Stewart has the bails off. They're asking the question. It's out! Gilchrist has to go just as he was coming to the boil. Gone for 45. Shane Warne is the new man. Facing the final ball of the over. Here comes Peterson now. Warne keeps a strike with a nurdle for 1. The part-time bowlers are doing the trick for Vaughan here. Australia 503 for 7. Swan into Warne. Spinner to spinner. Warne goes aerial into the leg side. Manages 3. Johnson back on strike. And he blasts a square cut for 4. What incredible power there from Johnson. Sweeps hard now and sweeps very well for 4. No let up here. 2 full and flicked away to the boundary for 4 more. Outside off this time. Flashing blade. Square cut for 4. Last ball of the over, and he races to his 50 with a flog into the leg side. 3 runs. Johnson up to 51 and threatening to take the game away from England. Australia 5-2-5 for 7. Vaughan takes off Peterson. Broad back, and he's getting thumped in the stands by Johnson for 6. Broad losing his line a little here. Johnson tickles it fine for another boundary. 4 more. Broad in again, and that's a much better ball that squares him up. They run a sharp single. Broad to attack Shane Warne. Warne comes out swinging and top edges for 6. Broad grimaces. Another edge, this time to a full length ball between first and second slip for 4. Broad cries out in frustration. Broad steaming in. Must have his man now. Cook can't hang on. Goes for 4. Broad howls with despair. Australia 550 for 7. The lead is over 100. Johnson drives Swan wide of mid on for 1. Warne cutting hard. Stokes is sweeping. He cuts off the boundary. 3 runs there. Johnson shows him how it's done by belting this to deep backward point for 4. Stokes dives. He can't make it. Playing away from his body here. It's one that spins away. Streaky single is the result. Warren on strikes. On strike. And he middles this one. Skips down. Rockets it over cover for a 1 bounce 4. Warren. Is he going to go for a big hoik here? He is. Is he bowled? No, I think he might be stumped here. More sharp work from Stewart. He is stumped. His 4th stumping of the innings. Vaughan has to go for 25. Side relief from Vaughan. But Australia are getting away here. They're 5-6-3 for 8. Johnson on strike to Broad. Johnson. It's outside off, but he plays at it and gets 2. Broad again to Johnson. Pulled into the leg side this time for another couple. Johnson waits for Broad and butchers him high into the Warner stand for 6. A chap in chino slacks takes a very fine catch there. Johnson drives now, but that was a slower ball. It dribbles apologetically into the leg side for 1. Cummins, the new man, and he strikes cleanly for a huge 6. And he'll face the final ball of the over. Cummins swings wildly again. Lucky for him, it lands kindly. The run 3. Broad miserable now. The carnage continues. 5-8-3 for 8. The freewheeling Johnson has 79. Cummins has 9. Archer back to try and clean up the tail. Top edge for 6. Seriously fast ball, but too much on it to interest the slips. But he didn't like this one. Fended awkwardly into the offside. Gets 1, but he's wincing there. Johnson gets a short ball. Takes his hand off the bat. It balloons into the offside. They get 2. Pitches. Archer comes in now. Pitches it up this time. Johnson drives down the ground for 4. He's in fine form. Pitched up again. Right on his toes. And this time you can only dig it out for 2 runs. Last ball of the over. It's short. It's nasty. Unfortunately for Archer, it was glanced over Stewart for 4. And with that, the 600 is up for Australia. 6:02 for 8. Is a declaration coming. Broad again. Goes short. Cummins hooks into the Edrich for yet another 6. Broad again to Cummins. Edges now. Finds a gap between 2nd and 3rd slip. They look at each other. Cummins gets 3. Johnson on strike. And he launches into a ball in the slot for a thunderous 4. He's a blow away from his 100. And there it is. Down the ground for 6. Johnson has his 100. And there's the declaration.
Australia have taken a firm grip of this test match. They lead by 177 after that 621 for 8 declared. When Johnson reached his 100, Broad was sprawled on the floor and England looked down and out. It was only Ponting's mercy that saved them. England are going to need to bat very well second time around to make a game of this. Steve Smith, who else, was the linchpin of the Australian innings. His 153 was masterful. Bradman-esque. Ponting and Clark also chipped in with valuable knocks. But it was Mitchell Johnson who really rubbed England's nose in the dirt with his brutal, no-holds-barred century. Of the frontline bowlers, it was only Swan who found a modicum of success with his 4 wickets. Vaughan had to rely on the part-time spin of Root and Peterson to make further inroads. England needs something akin to Brisbane in 2010. They were 221 behind on first innings then, but reached 500 for 1. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Can Cook lead another miraculous fight back?
Glenn McGrath into Alistair Cook, second time around. McGrath, short. Cook is hooking this for 6. There's no man back. Another short one. The man is back, but that's over him for another 6. What a start. This is more characteristic from Cook. Playing off his hips, past short leg for 1. Vaughan on strike. He drives, but that skews away. They get 2. Vaughan goes to the big drive, but it's edged into the ground, wide of 3rd slip. Cook comes back for 3. He's on strike. Paddles that one to the empty space in the leg side for 2. England 20 for none. Only 157 behind. Johnson with England on the rope. Short to Vaughan. He hops off the shoulder of the bat. Gets 2. Full to Vaughan, who drives. Edge to Vaughan. He can't take it low down. Bounces away for 1. This one rushes on him. He goes back to another short one for a single. Vaughan drives a full ball. Enough on this one for 3. Johnson again. This is seriously fast. Cook can only fend to the offside and gets 2. Short and rapid again. Cook is hooking. He gets 6. England are 35 for none. McGrath now with that unmistakable run up. And he has cleaned up Michael Vaughan here. Vaughan was playing down the wrong line and he has been clean bowled. The England captain is on his bike. McGrath adds yet another wicket to his Lord's booty. Ian Bell is the new man. He gets a full ball which he shows the full face to and it skittles away for 4. So McGrath goes shorter. Bell pulls him for 6. What authority! Back to his nagging line outside off. Bell cover drives for 4. Bell drops the ball in front of his nose. They take 1. Last ball of the over. Cook finds a vacant area of the leg side. Gets 1. England 51 for 1 on this long road to respectability. Grease lightning his back. Johnson short and wide. Cook doesn't want to miss out. Square cut for 4. Goes for the swinging ball into the block hole, but Cook can whip him away for 2. Another heat-seeking missile comes homing in, but Cook is calm personified for 2. Short, Cook can't resist, gets it up and over the fence. The steward takes the catch. It's 6. Back to the Yorker now, trying to burrow under Cook's bat. Digs it out for 1. Johnson gives Bell one in the slot. Hits through it for 6. England 72 for 1. Cook to face McGrath. McGrath wraps it on the pad. The Aussie team has 1 up. Does he have the prize wicket of Owzthat Cook? He does. The umpire's finger goes up. Cook looks at Bell and trudges off. That's a huge blow for England. Root, the new man. He's off the mark with an inside edge and a reckless run. Bell more composed as he cover drives for 4. But McGrath, does he have another one here? Bell drives and edges to Warne. Warne has taken the catch. Joy unbounded for the Aussies. England are 77 for 3 and still 100 behind. The new man is Kevin Peterson and he is chipping into the leg side and scrambling 2. So McGrath tests him with a short one and he passes 6 into the mound stand. 85 for 3, staring down the barrel of an innings defeat. Root and KP entrusted with the rebuild. Root places the first brick with the drop and go for 1. Johnson catapults one into Peterson, who is watchful, steers for 2. That slingy action sends down another thunderbolt. Peterson weathers the storm, has 2 runs. Peterson driving now without timing, past Langer at mid-on. He gets 2. This time he pulls to mid-wicket for a cheeky double. Peterson tires of all the running, takes aim at the sight screen, direct hit, 6 runs. England 100 up with that last blow. McGrath gallops in, finds Root's edge, but not Ponting's mitts. Root gets 3. McGrath in. Peterson drills this past mid-off for a rollicking 4. McGrath. Peterson swishes for 1 past Hayden at point. Root finds the middle of the bat now with a punch off the back foot for 4. McGrath. Root is neither forward nor back and edging to Warne like shelling peas for the master spinner. But it won't be the 4th wicket. McGrath has overstepped. Root escapes. A big let-off for him. McGrath into him again. He's on the back foot now. Sprint to the first, canter in the second. Last ball. Root! Pull with panache into the tavern stand. 1-2-1 for 3. Johnson has Peterson in a tiz with a throat ball. He defends well for 1. Joe Root now. And he picks up where he left off in the last over with a back foot steer for 4. Swinging in from Johnson, Root plays it well enough into the leg for 2. These two running well. No need to waste energy running here. Over cover for a zinging 4. Johnson responds with more short stuff, which Root hooks like a flash for 6. Short or full now? Full. Root is equal to it. 3 into the deep. 1-4-1 for 3. Time for some leg spin. It's Steve Smith. And it's short. Root latches onto it and pulls for 4. Well, we thought we were going to see Shane Warne. We're seeing Steve Smith. Smith gives it some air. Root comes down. Big spin. Root is stranded. Gilchrist has the bails off. Is he out? He is. Inspired bowling change from Ricky Ponting. England are 145 for 4 and still 32 behind. Root out for 40. Stokes is the new man now. Smith is into Stokes. Stokes gratefully bunts a full toss for 4. But he doesn't read the googly. Inside edges just past his stumps. Dashes for 1. Peterson gets a leg spinner which he drives to the sweeper for 2. This one is short from Smith. Peterson's eyes light up but he can't find the boundary. Gets 3. England 1-1-155 for 4. More leg spin. But here's the real deal. Warne to old foe Peterson, who rocks back and cuts him for 4. Vaughan again to Peterson. Peterson hits with a spin. High and mighty for 6. He enjoyed that one. Short again from Vaughan, and Peterson cracks into the off for 4 now. He's up to 47. One blow away. And he's launched another one down the ground, short of the rope. 3 runs, and that's his 50. Stokes on strike now, and he clubs one away to mid-wicket. These two are quick, and they get 3. Vaughan to Peterson, and that's driven. Excellent placement for 4. 179 for 4. They're 2 ahead. It's a start. Back to pace. Cummins into the attack. Stokes doesn't need a sighter. Blasted high into the leg side for 6. Cummins responds with a lifting ball that Stokes plays well. And he gets 2 for his efforts. Thrill a minute with these two at the crease. Stokes raises bat and helps a bouncer on the way for 6 more. This one is eased into the covers. A Sunday stroll for 1. Peterson to face Cummins, and on drive into deep mid-wicket for 4. Cummins tries a short one to KP. He's too late on the pull, but he gets 2. 200 for 4. England daring to dream. Vaughan again. Stokes gets the flipper. Hits it low on the bat for a quick single. Vaughan into Peterson now, who prods forward. It spins past his bat. Gilchrist removes the bails with Peterson teetering on the edge of the crease. They're asking the question. He's stumped by a matter of millimetres. Peterson has to go for an entertaining 60. Stumped by Gilchrist. Alex Stewart is next for the chopping block, but he gets a full toss and he strokes that away for 4. 4 more. Stewart can pull a shortest ball to the boundary. Vaughan is into Stewart again. Stewart sweeps now. Top edge, straight in the air. And Clark is at leg slip to take the catch. He has taken that catch. Yes, England are 209 for 6 and sinking fast here. Stewart gone for 8. Flintoff, the new man, the hero of the first innings. And he's up and running with a back foot slap for 3. England 212 for 6. Only 35 ahead. Cummins to Flintoff, and he is shown his intent with a mighty 6 there. Cummins to Flintoff again. And Flintoff is pinned to the crease. He fends the leg side, jogs 3 for 1. Stokes on the back foot, punched, easy 2. Cummins again. He's a fraction short. Stokes pounces, pulls with force for 6. This time he drives straight down the ground. Should be 2. There is. On his toes and flicking it in the air for 1. 230 for Sticks. Stokes moves to 35. Stokes sweeping Vaughan for 3. It's a good job he hit that. That was straight. Flintoff faces down Vaughan again. He's back. He's forward. And then he heaves it for 6 over deep mid-wicket. Vaughan with a wrong one. Flintoff back into the leg side. Sets off. Peterson sends him back. Throw comes in. That's a direct hit. Flintoff is sprawled on the floor. What does the video show? He's made his ground. Not out. Flintoff grins and picks himself up and dusts himself down and plants Vaughan into row Z. The ringmaster is back. Now Flintoff is reverse sweeping. He chuckles as he runs 2. Swept again conventionally in front of square. They run 3. Another eventful over. The 250 is up and a lead of 73. Flintoff planted his front foot, lifting Cummins high into the water for 6. Cummins again, edging now through Vaughan's hands. Pontin can't get the rebound. They run 1. Cummins is fuming, and now he's been smoked for 4 to the cover boundary. A wild slash outside off now that motors to the boundary for 4. This one is full, driven back past him. Cummins dives, but it's away and gone for another 4. Stokes tips into leg side for 1 in the strike. The runs are flowing. 270 for 6. Stokes climbs into a Johnson delivery for 4. The lead is over 100 now. Johnson tightens his line, but Stokes just swings him into the leg side for 4 more. Stokes takes a step, powers this high into the stand. The Cookie Monster takes the catch. It's 6. A savage pull over mid-wicket now brings him 6 more. Johnson is short. Stokes is ramping for 4 over Gilchrist. Last ball. It's full. Slung into the leg side. They get 3. Stokes dominated now in thrilling fashion. 297 for 6. McGrath on to spoil the party. Stokes on driving for a couple. Bunted into the leg side now. Probably won't go all the way. Johnson gets there. Keeps them to 3. McGrath to Flintoff. Nips one back. Flintoff drives for 2. McGrath gets one to bounce sharply. Flintoff is hooking out the ground. Go fetch. Flintoff swats this one over point. Langer chases, keeps him to 2. Flintoff, forward defensive, still gets 1 as it squirts off a thick edge. Flintoff has 45. This one is on his hips from Johnson, pushed into the leg side. Excellent running for 3. Johnson searching for the breakthrough. Stokes searching for the square leg boundary all the way for 6. This one is short. He tries to flick this over the keeper. Doesn't connect, but collects 2. Johnson straining. Stokes casually stroking him into the deep for a couple. Johnson short again. Stokes has plenty of time to roll his wrists and they run 3. Flintoff has to jump to keep this one down. Into the gap for 1. 3:30 for 6. McGrath in. Flintoff takes an almighty swing and it's flying down to Johnson at third man. Johnson steadies himself and he takes that catch. Flintoff goes for 49. It's 330 for 7. Swan is the new man, but they cross, so Stokes is back on strike. McGrath to him, and Stokes is helping himself to 2 into leg. 2 more for his 100. Can he get there from this ball? He can! He bludgeons it for 6, arms aloft, the applause rings out. And he's not done yet, square cuts with gusto for 4. McGrath doesn't know where to bowl, gives him a full toss, which he smashes for 6 more. 4 now, baseball style down the ground. The lead is 175. Johnson comes in, fast and loose. Swan swats it for half a dozen with his eyes closed. What a batting from Graham Swan. Johnson is in again to him. Into Swan. He bunts a length ball into the leg side. Don't think it will go for 4. It's 3. Johnson pitching up to Stokes. Jumping as he keeps it out and they run 1. Johnson steaming into Swan. Swan goes for the big drive. Nips back. And what's happened here? He's lost his middle stump. Swan goes for 9 with a lead only 185. Precarious position for England. Broad is the new man. Broad facing Johnson. And Broad slams him over long off for 6. No footwork, but superb connection. Johnson firing here. And this one is off the splice. Ballooning into the leg side. They take 1. Broad survives. 3-6-9 for 8. McGrath to Broad. Edged. Broad drives nowhere near the pitch. They get 2 runs. McGrath on the attack with a full slip cordon. This one is outside off. It's edged. Yours, mine. Through for 4. He pitches it up now. Broad drives. Prefers it there. And they get 3. McGrath will bowl to Stokes. He's driving. Can't get it all the way. But Broad is back for 3. McGrath peppering Broad. Top edge. Johnson running round. And can only palm it into the crowd for 6. Shorter. Broad shoos it away for 2. 3-8-9 for 8. With the lead 2-1-2. Cummins to replace Johnson. He has to bowl to Stokes. Cutting his first ball for 2. Cummins picking up the pace here. Into Ben Stokes. He's short, but Stokes is onto that and hooking for 6. Another great shot from Ben Stokes. Seeing it so well now. And the next ball gets the treatment too. 4 more to the cover boundary and the 400's up. Cummins hits Stokes in front. Huge guttural appeal from Cummins. The umpire has a long look and what is his decision? He shakes his head. Stokes can continue, much to the crowd's delight. Not out. Cummins straight again, but Stokes gets 2 into the leg. Short, hooks, but to Johnson at deep fine leg. Over him for 6. Stokes marches on to 1-4-2. Ponting brings back Smith. Broad slog sweeps him for 4. Steve Smith get another chance to take a wicket here. This is tossed up. Broad comes down the wicket. This is how Root Perish. Broad swings and connects over long off for 6. Smith drags one down leg. And Broad nudges him fine for 4. Broad enjoying himself now. He casts this one a cow corner for 6. Smith with a full toss. It's slogged for 60. Broad's 50 is up. The crowd are loving this. Last ball of the over is short, wide and pummeled to the fence. Broad has taken 30 from that over. Ponting needs something from Cummins. Stokes swing it into leg for 3 off the first ball. Broad back to face the pace of Cummins. Here comes Cummins now and he's hammering this back over Cummins' head for 6. Must be short to Broad now. It is. Broad hooks without conviction. They run 3. Stokes now. And Stokes is on driving into a space the size of Regent's Park and they get 3. Broad targeted again. Knows nothing about this. It shoots over Gilchrist. They get 2. Broad fishing and swishing somehow escapes with 3 runs. England 4-5-9 for 8. Where has Shane Warne been? Finally he returns, but Broad sweeps him in the air for 4. Broad in again to Stuart Broad. This one pitches outside off. Broad shoulders arm. The ball spins violently and it has hit middle stump. Halfway up, the maestro strikes immediately. You have to ask the question, why wasn't he on sooner? Broad goes for 72 and Archer's the new man. Archer is not going to die wondering here. He swings, connects and gets his 4. Warne to Archer again. Pitches it straight. Archer feels for it. Edges past Ponting for a streaky 4. So Archer goes back to his original plan. Clears the front leg. Sends it away for 4 more. Archer now turns a spinning ball for 2. 4-7-7 for 9. A lead of 300. Stokes has been kept off the strike, but he makes up for lost time with an uppercut 6 and is 150. The helmet is off. He kisses the badge and the applause rings out from this Lord's crowd. Cummins searching for his edge, but finds the middle of Stokes' bat and another 4 runs. Cummins to Stokes again, drops it a bit shorter. Stokes can paddle it round the corner for 2. This one is pitched up and sent back from whence it came. Raining 6s from Stokes' flashing blade. This one is a back foot punch from a shorter ball. Gets 2. Down the leg side now. Stokes gets a feather. 3 more runs and the 500 is up. Warne. Stokes gets down on one knee and drags it into the leg side for 4. He has really taken hold of this game. He moves to 175. Stokes is back, stroking it into the deep. Just the one there. Archer on strike. 6 to Cow corner. Crowd boisterous now. Warne responds with a quicker ball. Archer swinging again. Gets 4 more into the leg side. Warne into Archer again. Archer can cut very well for another 4. Archer's taking the master apart. Last ball. Archer swinging again. They get 3. 5-2-2 for 9. The lead is 3-4-5. One more effort needed from Glenn McGrath. Archer pushes, sets off, gets his single. Moves to 32. McGrath now to Stokes. Stokes sits back, cuts out to the deep, dive and stop, keeps him to 3. Archer on strike, on one leg, and guiding this one off the back foot for 2. McGrath, a length ball which Archer pulls in front of square all the way for 6. Archer on the pull again, he goes higher. The crowd need to be on their toes here. That's 6 again. And now the young Tyro smacks this high into the Compton for 6 and his maiden test 50. The lead grows to 3-6-9. Johnson bats try and blow him away, fast and straight. No problem for Stokes, who caresses for 1. 180 to him now. What innings this has been from Ben Stokes. Archer back on the strike. Swinging, inside edging. They run 1, come back for the second. Pitched up, Archer throws his arms. It sails away, 6. Archer pulling now to deep mid-wicket. Clark throws in and they complete the second run. Archer can't stop pulling. He's pulling again. That's a chase for Clark. Dives, saves and keeps them to 3. Stokes, the final ball. Inside edges past the keeper. McGrath on the boundary. Keeps them to 2. The partnership is 99 now. McGrath to Archer. Shorter and a short arm job into the next side. Away for 6. Has McGrath ever been smashed around as much as he has today? Despite all his wickets. This one's short. Archer is on the back foot, slashing for 4. He is cutting again, aiming for point. Flies past Hayden at gully. Langer fields. They get 2. Short now. Into Archer. Gets into a good position. Gets the ball down. Stokes calls him through for 1. McGrath to Stokes. And Stokes' first photo once again. He uppercuts with some power for 6. Last ball of the over. He pulls it for 3. He goes to 191. 584 for 9. The lead past 400 in that over. Johnson into Stokes. He drives him. Holds the position as it whistles away for 4. 195 to Ben Stokes. Johnson again to Stokes. This is just a dab into the leg side for 1. Johnson still bowling quickly. And that rushes on Archer. Edges wide of third slip for 4. Johnson trying to rough him up here. Archer pulls it on the swivel for yet another boundary. 4 runs. Johnson gets one to swing away. Archer pushes. And he's caught by Gilchrist, is he? The umpire's finger goes up. and Australia have finally ended this England innings on 597. Archer made a barnstorm in 86. Stokes not out for a sensational 196.
What an incredible turnaround from England, led by the brilliance of Ben Stokes. They had lost 4 wickets before they had wiped out the 177 deficit, and when Peterson and Alex Stewart fell in the same Shane Warne over, England were 209 for 6 and only 32 ahead. But then Stokes and Flintoff took control, putting on another 100 partnership for the 7th wicket. There were still challenges to overcome. When Flintoff was out for a sprightly 49, the lead was only 153. But Stokes then led 100 plus partnerships with Broad and Archer. The 10th wicket partnership with Archer was worth 134 and the highest of the innings. Archer, last man to fall for a swashbuckling 86. Ben Stokes still standing, 196, not out. Born to play Ashes cricket. So the upshot of all of that is that Australia will need 421 to win this Owzthat Ashes test in aid of the NHS. It would be a record run chase. Let's see how they go.
Stuart Broad to bowl the first over from the pavilion end here at Lord's. Langer gets one on his legs, gratefully clips away for 3 to open his account. Hayden on strike, surprised by one that kicks up at him. He fends and gets 1. Broad round the wicket to the left-hander. This one nips back, inside edge, off stump is down. Broad, I think, has bowled Justin Langer here. He has. England are cock-a-hoop. A wicket in the first over. Langer goes for 3. Pontin is the new man. Broad bowling to him now, and Pontin immediately shows off his favoured pull for 4. Great shot to get off the mark. But he won't be shown any more today. Pontin edges to Cook at slip, who juggles and takes. The Australian captain has to go. The crowd are on their feet. Pontin is out for 4 in the first over. Lords is bouncing now. Steve Smith in already. Broad into him. Smith takes the heat off with a steer for 2. Australia are 10 for 2, chasing what would be a record score of 4-2-1. Archer now to Hayden, short, back of a length, and laced to the boundary for 4. Archer goes short, Hayden hooks, Broad needs a step ladder, can't find one. 6 it is. More back foot butchery as this is smashed for 4. Archer short, Hayden ducks, can't get out the way, bat in the air and flies off the edge for 4. Pitched up now, the old 1-2, but Hayden can drive this away for 4. Last ball of the over. Every ball has gone to the boundary, and so is this one. Over his head for 6. 28 off that over from Hayden. Australia 38 for 2. Broad to Smith. Smith twitches, shuffles, and spanks for 4. Broad targeting leg stump here, but too far down, and Smith helps it on its way for 4 more. Broad goes back to outside off, short of a length. Smith uppercuts savagely for 6. Broad now, good looking ball that Smith is onto in a flash, driving past cover for 4. This one is too straight, he on dries, past mid on for another boundary, 4 runs. Broad trying everything. He is short now and Smith torpedoes it over a deep square leg for 6. Another blistering over, Smith picking up where he left off in the first innings, 66 for 2. Archer full to Hayden, who drives with that timing for 1. Archer to Smith, wants to test him with a short one, too short, pull to mid-wicket for 6. But this one has him in a tangle, just swipes it away from his grill, nearly a stunning catch. They run 3. Hayden now, he continues to blaze, over long off for 6. Into his ribs now, and he can play it away for 2. Archer, quickest one yet, another top edge to Stokes, one-handed, takes it, but then crashes over the boundary, it's 6. Archer is troubling these two, but the runs keep coming. 90 for 2. Broad's going to continue. Smith shuffles again and keeps Stokes busy as they run 3. Hayden jabs one off his hips into leg side. Excellent running for 2. Hayden defends, hesitates, but Smith is running. Hayden sets off, shy of the stumps, misses. Broad has got Smith. He's finally missed a stray one here. Middle stump out of the ground. No! Broad has overstepped. He looks to the heavens. Smith has a life and he pushes past point now for 2. Smith off the hook and on the hook. Mighty blow for 6. 50 for him. 100 for Australia. Playing away from his body now. Peterson in the gully, can't get there. Batsman run 3. Broad grabs his hat. Australia 108 for 2. Vaughan's heart rate on the increase. Archer continues. He's got Smith feeling for a wide ball, but gets enough of it for 2. And that is just held round the corner over deep square leg for 6. This is just unbelievable. That's a length ball which he climbs into and cracks for 6. Simply unstoppable. Mouths are open at Lord's as another pull flies into the grandstand. Strangled appeal from Archer. Smith just doesn't miss. Flicked away for 2. Last ball. Cramps him for room and his cut is misdirected. They still get 1. 1-3-1 for 2. Smith 53. The chase is on here. Flintoff on to turn the tide. But turned into the leg side in characteristic style for 2 runs. Flintoff finds the lesser spotted edge of Smith's bat. Too high for the slippers, 4 runs. Finds the inside edge now, cuts him in half. Stewart can't take the catch, 4 more. Smith, the computer's reprogrammed and the ball thwacks off the middle for 4. Shorter now, this hurries him, fends the leg slip. Who is fielding somewhere else? 1 to Smith. Round the wicket to the left-hander, but he can ease that into the covers for 2. Flintoff starts well, but the immovable object moves to 91. 148 for 2. Time for Graham Swan. Smith treats this with utter disdain. Pull for 6 into the tavern. 97 now for Smith. He skips and sends this sweetly back to the tavern for 6. His second 100 of the match. What batting. And he's taken a liking to Swan here on the back foot and dashing another one off his cudgel for 4. Rapier-like now as he swishes and swipes for 6 over deep mid-wicket. Ain't no stopping him now. He's on the move and planting this over Swan's head for 6. He twiddles and it twitches. He's on the back foot. You know the score. 4 more. That was masterful. 123 for Smith. Hayden happy to lean on his bat and enjoy the show. Flintoff to Hayden now. Plants the front foot and bullies it over long off for 6 and his 50. Slashing a wide ball now in the air down to the boundary. Cut off for 3. Smith back on strike. Everyone takes a gulp. Smith runs an easy 3. Hayden on strike. Flicks this off his pads in the air. Sailing towards a Merv Hughes lookalike who catches the ball in his pint glass. There to be driven and hits the rope. And with that brings up the Aussie 200. Hayden goes again. He's edged this one, but Cook puts it down. They run 1. No luck for Flintoff. They only need another 218. Does Vaughan still believe? Swan back into Hayden, sweeping over the carpet for 1. Smith on the back foot and placing it past point for 2 runs. Clipping now to the sweeper, run the first 2 hard and canter back for 3. Hayden, go fetch boy, from outside off to mid-wicket for a 1 bounce 4. He gets his sweep out again and it's a fine dusting this time which brings him 3. Smith prods at this one and goes for 1 to complete the over. Australia 217 for 2. Smith 134. Hayden 75. Root to chances are. Is this a hint of desperation? Smith skips, drives wristily for 4. This one is heading for the Aussie balcony. Mitchell Johnson takes it and salutes the crowd. This one is too short. Guess what? Smith pulls into the tavern for 6 more. That's his 150. Smith takes flight again. Destination that chap quaffing champers in the Warner. That's 6 runs. England need a white flag here. They don't know what to do. Smith fires this through the covers. 4 more. Roots, last ball. Smith comes down to cart him. Scoots past his inside edge. Stewart gathers. Swipes right. And the bails are off. He's stumped. Smith has finally fallen on his sword for a scintillating 160. 243 for 3. Smith and Hayden's partnership was worth 235. Swan into Hayden. Breathless stuff. Hayden leans forward to defend, spins past him. Stewart has the bails off again. What is going on? It's stumped again. This is incredible. England have 2 in 2. Hayden goes for 75. Is there a chance for England here? Michael Hussey is in next. Here comes Swan now. And Swan has another one, does he? Stokes is at slip, but he can't hang on to the edge. They run 1. Michael Clark, sun hat on. He's paddle sweeping this for 2. Risky. Well played. Now the sombreroed one is back and dashing that away to 4. Away for 4 to the covered boundary. Takes guard again. He's down the track. Contact is pure and true for 6. This time he reverse sweeps for an easy 2. The game is in the balance. 2-5-8 for 4. Stokes now too short. Hussey can pull straight away for 6. Stokes goes short again. Has him worried but plays it well enough. Gets 3. Clark on strike. He thick edges for 1 through the gully. Hussey is skipping and a clipping into the leg side for 4 runs. Hussey drives now, leaning into his cover drive, runs half a run before the ball goes for 4. Pulled with venom for a flat 6. 282 for 4. Only 139 away. Hussey 24, Clark 15. Broad back. And so nearly has his 3rd wicket. Terrific ball that Clark edges over Cook for 4. Broad gives him a slower ball. Clark waits, hits him for 6. Pitched in short. Clark latches onto it and that disappears into the Warner stand. 6 more. Broad in again. Clark goes downtown with a clean hit towards the media centre. 6 again and the 300 is up. A beautiful late cut now to a full ball brings him yet more bounty. 4 runs. Late dab again this time but Peterson cuts it off. Clark takes 1. Clark has 42 now. Australia 309 for 4. Stokes again. Magic needed. I think he's found some. He finds some reverse swing here and Clark has lost his off stump. Australia are 5 down for 309. Has the pendulum swung again? Clark made 42. Gilchrist, the next man. Stokes getting it to reverse. This one is away from the left-hander who was edging it for 3. Searching again for this reverse swing, but that doesn't move. Hussey clubs it for 6. Stokes. This one wobbles on him and he pokes it into the offside for a single. Gilchrist back on strike. Goes for a big shot. Gets underneath it, but lands safe and he runs 3. This one. Swings away. Hussey guides it through the gully for 4. 95 needed. Hussey 35. Gilchrist 6. Broad to Gilchrist. Nervy looking steer into the offside for 2. Broad is full. Looking for swing. Gilchrist edges in front of slips. They get 1 among the U's and R's. Hussey gets a straighter one which he can shovel into leg for 2. Boundaries have dried up here. And that won't be one either. Hussey calls Gilchrist through for a single. But Gilchrist does find one here. He helps a short ball on its way over Stewart. And it goes for 6. Back-to-back boundaries. Gilchrist pulls in front of the square for 4. Can these two see Australia home? Vaughan turns to Flintoff. Hussey helps a wide ball down the leg side for 4. But Flintoff responds with a short one that nips away. Hussey plays and Peterson takes a smart catch in the gully. A vital wicket. Or it was until the replay showed it was another no ball. Flintoff now denied. He's squaring Hussey up and that is edged into leg side. They take 1. Straining every sinew now. Gilchrist sways out of the way. Skims his glove. They get 1. Hussey, attack, best one with defence. Slices away. Beats the fielder. Gets 4. Driving to mid-on now. Should be fielded, but it's through. And it runs away for 4. What a gift. Hussey drops, dashes for 1. 3-5-8 for 5. 64 away. Archer back on. A steepling bounce to the Hussey, who tips it over the keeper for 4. Archer round the wicket, angling in, delivering a cannonball. That has demolished Hussey's middle stump. What a ball. Hussey clean bowled and has to go for 56. Still 60 needed. England need 3 wickets. How is this match going to end? Johnson is the new man. And he gets off the strike with a check drive off a full ball for 1. Gilchrist on strike. And Gilchrist swats a full ball to the mid-wicket boundary. Easy as you like. That was 4 all the way. Short ball never far away with Archer. But Gilchrist won't back down. He hooks superbly for 6. Last ball. Gilchrist drives down the ground. Gets 3. He's on to 33. Is he to be the match winner? 45 to win. Flintoff pounds in, around the wicket to Gilchrist, wraps the pad, Stewart up, slips up, Freddie roars at the umpire. Ow! It's leg before. Flintoff is mobbed. He's found a way through. 3 more wickets for England. Shane Warne in, and he'll be on strike to Flintoff with his tail up. Flintoff into Shane Warne. Spears one into the block hole. Warne keeps him out, gets one. Flintoff to Johnson. And Johnson's not giving this up. He's back foot cutting for 4 there. Flintoff goes round the wicket. Short. Johnson helps him on its way for 6. The runs keep coming. This one is chest high. Johnson tries but fails to keep it down. Sprints off. They come back for 2. Last ball of the over. Johnson slogs for 4. 3-9-3 for 7. 28 needed. It's on a knife edge. Archer in. Warne jumping and flapping. Gets 2. 93 miles per hour that last ball, and this one has been in for pace. Comes back in. Archer on his knees asking for the decision. The crowd are up on his behalf. The umpire says yes. Archer the man for the big occasion. He takes the wicket. Warne is out for 3. Cummins is the new man with 2 wickets needed. Archer to Cummins, and Cummins is driving and inside edging. Archer thought it was through, but it gets 2 runs. Archer is searching for the perfect Yorker here. Cummins gets the toe of the bat on it, squirts away, they get 1. Archer in again. Johnson uppercutting for 6, 400 up for Australia. And a big booming drive now for 3, 407 for 8, 14 to win, 13 a tie, tension reigns. What's the big man got left? Off stump line from Flintoff. They get 1. Flintoff in again, Cummins forward, chance for bat pad here. Ian Bell takes a superb catch down to his right. Flintoff is celebrating again. The umpire signals no ball. Another one. Surely not. It's a run nearer the target for Australia. 12 to win. Flintoff shrugs. He comes again. Cummins is leaving. It's nipped in and crashed into his right pad. There's no shot played there. Flintoff roars his appeal. Then roars in delight when the finger goes up. 1 wicket away from a remarkable win. McGrath is the next man. He has to get off the strike, surely. Here comes Flintoff to him. Instead, he top edges one for 6. 6 away for the Aussies. Flintoff to McGrath. Here he comes now, past the umpire. McGrath has to play. Edges again for another 4. They only need 2 to win. But he can't keep this one out. Flintoff has fired it in full. McGrath has played around it. Middle stump. Cartwheeling. It's clean bowled. England have won by a run. Incredible scenes. Johnson and McGrath are on their haunches. The England players are dancing a merry jig. The crowd here at Lord's have erupted.
Where to start with that one? Drama and tension that only Test match cricket can bring. The bare stats are that England won this Owzthat Ashes Test by a run. The smallest margin of victory in an Ashes Test, beating England's 2-run margin at Edgbaston in 2005. But that doesn't even begin to describe the events that unfolded at Lord's today. When Broad took 2 wickets in the opening over, Australia were 8 for 2, and the winning line was fading into the distance. That reckoned without the amazing batsmanship of Steve Smith, the eternal centurion. He put on 235 for the 3rd wicket with Hayden. When Smith fell, the score was 243 for 3, and Australia needed 178 more runs to win. They were probably slight favourites at that stage. But when Hayden fell to the first ball of the next over, the game was in the balance. But the runs kept flowing, and at 361 for 5, Australia were firmly in the box seats again. Then came the Archer and Flintoff show. They took 5 wickets between them in 4 overs, including 2 for Flintoff in that nail-endangering final over to deny Australia. Cometh the hour, cometh the Flintoff. In that final over, he had Cummins caught by Ian Bell at short leg, only for the umpire to signal no ball. Rather than bemoan his bad luck, he turned to his mark, roared in again and had Cummins LBW. Only 1 wicket to go and still 12 runs needed. And yet there was to be a further twist. McGrath somehow managed to hit 10 off the next 2 balls to leave Australia needing 1 to tie and 2 to win. But this was Flintoff's stage, and the next ball saw McGrath bereft of his middle stump. One of the great Test matches had its fitting ending. England had won by a run.